The agency charged with overseeing school construction has awarded funding for more than 50 projects totaling $2.6 billion. That comes on the eve of the governor signing a bill authorizing more state debt to pay for school construction. Ed Rogers has the story.
The Schools Development Authority okayed funding for 26 new schools, including a new high school in Trenton and replacing the rundown Oliver Street School in Newark. The agency's board also approved money for another 26 projects, like replacing this school in Asbury Park. Work had stalled following a funding shortfall. The SDA and State Education Department say district size, overcrowding, and preschool accommodations were some of the criteria used to select the projects, which are all located in the so-called Abbott Special Needs Districts.
The criteria were designed to highlight the most severely deficient conditions. And as I stated earlier, the needs are so vast and so great. There is obviously more than what we can do, more needs than what we can address in this round of funding. But we really prioritized the most severe cases in this round.
Today's announcement follows legislative approval of $3.9 billion for school construction. The SDA replaces the former Schools Construction Corporation. A 2005 State Inspector General's report found lax or non-existent oversight in the SCC. Republicans have criticized Democrats for creating more debt to pay for the work. The SDA's chief executive officer says safeguards are now in place. Project managers will now need that board's approval of their budgets and schedules before construction can begin.
We don't buy land until there's a approved project. We don't design until we control the land, so we avoid redesigning. And we don't bid construction contracts anymore until the design is complete. All those are the kind of protections that contrast today's plan from the past.
The SDA says there is a backlog of more than 300 school replacement and renovation projects statewide. Officials say they will keep $304 million in reserve for emergency projects or unforeseen events.
We're hoping that through efficiencies and maybe some conservatism in our planning estimates, we'll find that some of the reserves we set up don't need to be utilized for the reserve point of view, and we can begin to reprogram some of that money to an additional school or two.
The agency plans to spend a remaining $1 billion for projects in what it calls regular operating districts. The State Education Department is expected to develop similar criteria for making those awards.
Well, we're not finished with that process yet, but it will focus on the greatest educational needs. Again, looking at facilities that are overcrowded, facilities that are very, very old, that haven't been renovated or modernized. We're in the 21st century, and we know there are many buildings, many school buildings to which children go to school every day that were built before 1900.
The earliest date the SDA could give approval to some of the projects before construction can begin would be in November. Ed Rogers, NJN News, Trenton.